What's up, people? How we doing on this fine Saturday? Thought I'd run a little Vloggish episode for the hell of it. This is not turning on. Battery cap wasn't tight. So I got a few things to talk about, I guess. Damn. Well, here's my. Just wanted to know where my phone was in case I wanted to show you all any pictures. Just uploaded a video today. It was the high-end MTL top 10 or whatever. However many I did. Might be less than 10. I almost called this the Perseus, the Casperdina. Love this thing. So, yeah, I got a few things that should chat about. Tomorrow's Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to any of you fathers out there. My sister is here from Tampa, Florida, visiting. And, yeah, me and my dad had quality bonding time today. My car battery died yesterday. So, he, jumped it, some jumper cables, and we took a ride over to, CarQuest or whatever. Luckily, he had tools in his truck and bought a new battery. And yeah, car maintenance when you got an old car, 93 or 92 Buick.
Now Charlotte wakes up around 8, and this is where I try to have one-on-one with her before her workday starts.
But you know, it gets me from A to B. So there's some new happenings. Oh, check this out. Whoa. Whoa. Sony ZV-E1. Been waiting quite some time for this damn thing. So they sent me one the other week, right? And it was used. I bought it brand new from Adorama. It's basically like Best Buy. You know, it's a legit vendor. And they sent me one with scratches on it. Also, you know, all sorts of indications that it was not new. But here it is. This little thing. Now, I've showed you guys my bigger camera. But that big camera is more professional, and like professionals don't use autofocus. I mean, they're starting to now, obviously, but this will be way more convenient for what I'm going to be doing with this channel. I mean, it may look really simple, and kind of is to some degree, but the sensor in this is the same one that's in some really, really expensive cameras, and it's just a cheaper body, you know. But now I'm waiting for a native E-mount lens. The fun never stops. I got a lens from eBay recently, and the aperture ring was broken, so the iris was stuck. So I had to return that. I'm still waiting for the money to come back from that, and then I'll try it again. So I thought this was broke too. This this one was clearly brand new, but they gave me a completely dead battery. And I was still waiting for a battery charger. Came yesterday. And just from vaping, I know you don't want to charge. You want to use a designated battery charger. You know, that's something I learned from vaping, but it applies to this too. But last minute, before sending this back out, because they sent me a return label for this one too, because I thought it was broke. I just used the USB-C and charged it in camera, and it's not broken. But I was just expecting the worst after the used camera and then the broken lens. So anyhow, still need a lens. So but I'll be doing some reviews with this soon. That'll be nice. It'll be convenient. You know, it's just convenient. Yeah. As rinky-dink and simple and cheap as that looks, that thing was fucking expensive. It has an AI chip in it, so like the autofocus is, you know, unprecedented. Should be pretty good. I'm curious. Let me know in the comments. Does anyone think I have a Philly accent? Being from Philly? Philadelphia? Pennsylvania? To all you Euro hags. I wonder how many... I don't know. I get a couple people from... Clearly, if your name is in a different language, you know, like symbols and shit, I know you're not, you know. Anyhow. I get like a variety of subscribers, I would think. Seems that way. I get notified sometimes. My mind is blown with how much this channel has grown. So, what, like, next month will be 1 year that I've been doing reviews now. Time flies. And, I haven't had this channel, though, for a whole year. I technically had a different channel at first. And, it was going to be deleted. It was deleted, and then I got it back, and it was this mess. So, like, at, like, I don't know, 50 or, like, 75, something like that, 75 subs, I ended up having to start all over again with this channel. So... you know, but it's still been like about a year that I've been doing this. And the sad part is I had better gear then than I do now. But I have better camera gear now than I did then. Well, the vlogs I'm clearly shooting with some piece of shit camera, built-in camera, but I can start using that, and that'll be good. I mean, I could do live streams with my bigger camera too. It's just too much. It's too much work, you know. Too lazy for that. Takes the spontaneity out of it too, you know. All right, so that's that. Yeah, I've been getting a little more chummy with some of you guys that, you know, follow the channel more closely, or at least interact with me more with comments and stuff like that, which I always appreciate. And Paul, I've been talking to Paul recently. Very friendly guy. He was telling me about a little situation he had. He got a Strangers mod recently, and it didn't come with a squonk bottle. And apparently he had got a lot from Strangers mods in the past. And he had to really fight to get a squonk bottle. I couldn't believe it. I said, that's like selling somebody a new car, but, you know, they had to buy the keys separately or something, you know? How are you not going to have a squonk bottle for a squonk mod. You know, but that's the kind of shit that gets pulled on you in high end, you know. Everything but the drip tip. Everything but the airflow pins. That whole thing. Oh yeah. So there's a new mod coming out. One I'm pretty excited for. The Orca 2. Mr. Evan Ripple, the very prominent boro. Well, he makes squonks too. The Mako 1, 2, and 3, and you know, the maker of the Orca, not Orca Vape, just the Orca mod. JB Manufacturing. So you can't have Delro and Orca and like one's a J this and one's a J that. And somebody gets the two-letter J thing, and you know, Evan, you gotta figure something else out. You know, that gets confusing. Both being American and all, making cool ass boro mods. It looks cool though. Instead of a round button, it's a square, rectangular looking button. I always feel like the button was such a big loss for the Orca because they never did the resin. I mean, if you're gonna have resin mods, right? If you're gonna have resin Orca mods, why not go all out and make the buttons resin too? See how good that looks? Like, you know, it matches. There's a couple in the wild. Well, Chris Smitty has one with the resin button, and it really completes the mod. I mean, it makes it look perfect. And it just never caught on. I mean, it should have been a standard. You know, or at least there could have been an accessory maker that cranked them out if they didn't come with it stock, you know? I always thought that was a really big missed opportunity. And, I don't know. Or Chris Smitty, I mean, he really stepped up his game with panels and coming up with the Delro window cutout and all that stuff. Like, I don't know why. And he had one of those Orcas, so why didn't he make those buttons? It would have been perfect. So, anyhow, coulda, shoulda, woulda. So yeah, gonna be a new Orca. It's got a did I talk about this last week? I feel like I did. I'm sorry if I did. The garage door thing goes up and God damn it! I feel like I said this before. I'm so sorry if I did. I get caught up with that. I gotta rewick this. My dope. Speaking of Vapeware mods, so it's official. There's a new Vapeware mods RTA coming out, called the Innova. It's funny. There's an Enigma, an Innova. It looks very much like actually the top of it looks. The top cap area looks like a mix between the Unitank, the Imperia, the Integra, and the Narva, to me. I mean, most of those are his own design anyway, so of course it's going to look like his own design, because, you know, that's just his style, but I think it has a more of a Narva feel, and like I don't know. The airflow looks bang on like the Integra. And the build deck. The build deck has the posts that are basically flat with the base of the deck. So it's like almost postless like. It looks just like the Imperia deck. Actually, it looks pretty much the same. Although, like, I thought the posts were, like, completely separate, but it's just the juice flow channel, like the coil jig rest. It's just like a bigger little, I'm going like this. It's like a little half pipe, little ramp. You know, like I explained in the Imperia video, you know, the semicircle thing that completes the juice well port and it acts as the coil jig rest. Yeah, that whole thing. So I would be more excited about it if I was still in the group, because obviously I'm not going to be able to get one new anymore. But yeah, good for him. I mean, it's a great RTA, so you know what? That kind of makes me realize now why it was bad that I made that video, because I didn't know he was coming. I heard rumors that this RTA was coming out, but I didn't have any concrete, like, I wasn't sure of it, and now that I know, I guess it is bad. It makes me feel worse, because it means he's still relevant, like he's still making stuff actively, or was in the process of, so I guess it does look worse, my video, in that perspective, you know, because it's not like he comes out with a lot of products all the time, so I thought maybe he was just taking a hiatus like Van and Dell, you know, which is another shame because they do great products. Van and Dell. I mean, I don't have like all their stuff. When I seen Mark Todd's video, like memorial type video of them, and he had little flashbacks to all the different products he did of theirs, I hadn't been vaping that long, so I didn't even see a lot of that stuff, and you know, when it was just called Van Mods or whatever, right? Yeah, that was interesting. But what I do have, you know, like I love the Soul S, the Har, obviously. The Teatro is good. I didn't like the Poet that much. It's just a little too, it's tight, you know what I mean? It's a really condensed, tight airflow vape. It gets hot easily, and, I mean, I like small coils. I'm not a huge airflow kind of person, but I don't know, maybe I should have put some round wire in it and tried it like that. Well, I think I did. It still got hot. I mean, granted, they did have the Delrin caps, and my impression of it was already made prior to using a Delrin or Ultim cap for it, so, yeah, whatever. Can't win them all anyway. I just didn't like it that much. But the ones that I do like, I like a lot, you know. Yeah, the dope I built, I've been wicking it too loose now. It needs a little more cotton. Because I do get a great crackle out of this, but I pushed it too far last time and it was a little slurpy. It's time for a drier vape. I used to wick my stuff tighter because, and I wouldn't get crackle at all, but it would still vape great, you know. And I've seen that in a post recently. It's like, you know, why the big deal about crackle? And it's true, it's not a big deal. You don't need crackle for a good vape. You can still have, you know, it's not an end-all be-all indicator that you're wicking perfectly. I mean, you could still wick just as good without it. And there's a lot of things that factor into it. I personally don't like it all that much, not all the time, not on everything, because sometimes I want my stuff to be quiet, you know. I don't want it to be distracting like that. So, Where else can we go from here? Let's keep it positive for a second. So the Enigma RTA, the Unkwn RTA. Well, if you're watching this video, within Saturday, June 17th, 2023, you're in the Unkwn Facebook group, you can sign on up for the Enigma RTA. And then tomorrow there'll be a randomizer. I don't know how many spots there are for it, but if you're lucky, your name will be chosen, and in 2 weeks you will have an Enigma for the $250 plus shipping that it's going to cost, which is fairly expensive. I mean, it is made in America, and you figure if an RBA is going to cost like $200, $220, think about how much more material, and I think an RTA is much more technically, I don't know, but I imagine it's much more difficult and technical to make an RTA than an RDA or an RBA. I would think it's the most involved one, just because there's so many more variables and stuff, and there's more material there, so the price is high, but it's not crazy. I guess it's about right. There's people that charge way more for RTAs, so. Speaking of, I got my, the RTA I was talking about last week. I didn't post the review yet. I didn't know if I wanted to talk about this in this video or in this vlog because I didn't post the video yet, but here it is. Here's my Squape Nduro that I'm really enjoying. I won't spoil too many details about it, but it's really good. And I actually wasn't going to keep this because I anticipated that it was going to reek, or it was going to taste like old, nasty juice, because that's what it smelled like when I first got it. But I think it ended up, it was the vape, or, like, residual juice, but I think the packaging also smelled, and I think that had something to do with it. Whatever foam material they used in this is like gross. But it's fine. I give it an alcohol rinse or soaking and all. And by the grace of God, I was an inch away from sending this back. Like, it was all set. He even sent my money back. And then I had to tell him, listen, I'm actually going to keep this thing because suddenly I really like it, and fortunately it doesn't have that residual taste. It's tasting the way I hoped. And I just really like the draw and everything. So yeah, I've been wanting this RTA for a long time. I just love the styling. And I think the Jenna and the 143 kind of borrowed from this. But, you have a lot of German tanks like this, too. GT4 and 3 have styles like this. And yeah, it's just great. It just looks so good. And there's tanks prior to those that have this style, too. But they're well before I started vaping, so. Tripod 2, Unific, with Turkish blend in there. I was about to put juice in here. Oh shit, it's still open. I was about to put juice in here, but I have Turkish tradition in here, not blend. They're similar, but different. Yeah, I should just finish wicking this dope, is what I should do. Which I regularly, for the past 6 months, I guess, or more. Oh shit, I don't have anything with this in it right now. I need to put that in something. Transistor Basic B, I always use that. Damn it, where is this at? Alright, I gotta get up. Gravity, you failed me. Alright, now where was we? Where was we? Here's my Bestia. The Bestia. With the wicked 1.2 plus element P. Good times for change. So yeah, like I was saying, clearly tomorrow's Father's Day, right? I had been planning for so long. My boss, right? Guy I work for, guy I work with. His name is Jerry. Jerry with a G. He's an older guy. He's like 60-something. You know, out of shape. Smokes like a chimney, and I can't stand it. Now that I don't smoke, I haven't smoked in like 4 years. I just cannot stand the smell of it, especially in like a closed area. Oh my god, it drives me crazy. So I'm trying to get him to stop smoking because he smokes like at least a pack a day. And at his age and his weight and being diabetic is no bueno. So I'm trying to push vaping onto him. I let him borrow my V2. And I put this in there. The evil EVL dot spot. This thing, the dot RBA. And you see how it's in pieces, right? Well, I gave it to him for a little bit. I asked for it back because I told him it probably needed rewicking, or like, you know, you'd had to run out of juice by now. It's been like at least a week. I get it back from him. It's basically full still. I'm like, dude, first off, I wanted you to vape this so I didn't have to deal with your cigarette smell in the car all the time. And, you know, so not only are you not using it around me, you're telling me that you're using it when you're home. Okay. But you're not. It's still full. 1 tank. So, I know it's more a tighter draw, so you're not going to be ripping through juice, but still, like a whole, the tank's full still. Clearly not using it. So, I don't know. A couple weeks went by, and now this week he was all like, oh, I really need a vape again, I really need a vape. And I had been planning on getting him like a Caliburn or something, some throwaway type thing that's more of a transitional mod, like a pod mod type thing. And for Father's Day, I was going to get it for him, and I don't know, it just never happened for me, because I don't got my shit together, honestly. But, he did ask me, can you bring me in something Friday, so I have for the weekend, and I did plan on rewicking the dot spot for him. And, you know, I'm running late for work that morning, as I always am, and I'm trying to rewick the dot spot, and I pulled it, and it came apart from the wrong spot, and the tank opened up, all the old juice spilled all over the floor. I said, fuck that. I just left it there, On the way to work, I stopped at the gas station. I got him a VU Solo with regular tobacco flavored pod. You know the pods are way more expensive now? They used to be, for Jules anyway, you'd get 4 pods for like $8 to $10 or $12, $14 tops, right? Now you get 1 pod for $8 or $9. What the fuck? You know, they really don't want people to stop smoking, man. I couldn't believe that hike, you know? So I was trying to tell them in the car about how it's also economical, you know, just to vape. Well, not the way I do, obviously, but, you know. And then I pull out the pod that I already bought for him at the gas station, telling him, yeah, there's 4 of them in here. There was only 1. I'm like, there's only 1. You know, so I felt kind of stupid about that. But, anyhow, I just bought him a damn VU Solo and a pod and said, here, leave me alone. I mean, eventually I'll figure out, like, I'll get him a Caliburn somehow or whatever, but I just needed to get him something for the weekend or whatever, so he'd get off my back about it. And I told him I would, so, you know. And I was late for work because of it, so. Anyhow. Yeah, too bad about my car battery dying, man. I was trying to come up with money for, a Thrill mod in White Juma. Somebody, I think he's in Italy or something, is going to sell me for a pretty good price. I mean, especially compared to what they are new. He was saying he was going to hold it for me. I'm like, don't hold it for me because I never know what the hell's going to happen with me until it happens. And sure enough, my car battery dies. So, yeah, I wouldn't have had the money. Now I got to deal with this. Well, I don't know what's going to happen, but like I was saying earlier, anybody that's in the Unkwn group, fill out for the Enigma RTA. It's open for 24 hours. Starting, I don't know, 8 hours ago. And, like I said, don't know how many spots, but tomorrow, I don't know. I really hope I get it. At the same time, I didn't check my balance, but just, you know, I didn't really need this battery thing happening to me because I just threw a bunch of money on that lens and then it was broken. I had to send it back. You know, it's just, shit ain't working out. So, as much as I do want that RTA, it couldn't be at a worse time. But, I can't miss out on that if I get picked anyway. You know, there wasn't that many likes or comments when I seen it, but it had only been open for a couple hours. Now, I gotta think most of the Unkwn heads are into boro mods, but that doesn't mean anything because, you know, people fill out for the popular stuff no matter what because they just use it as ammunition. They'll get it. Have no interest in using it as an RTA. Don't even use RTAs. They only like boro stuff. So then they'll get it and then immediately say, want to trade for BMM mod. How much you want to make a bet? God can strike me dead right now if somebody doesn't get an Enigma RTA and immediately try to trade it for a boro mod. It's sickening. That kind of shit bothers me more than clones, honestly. Just the, or like, let me say this, I feel like that's more disrespectful than clones. Because you're just I mean, like, that's the actual product that, you know, the guy made for people that really are passionate about that product, you know, and other people are just, you know, just looking at it as a piece of currency, you know? Or like when people get these things and they, you know, trade it or sell it new in the box. Like, damn, dude, you didn't even have enough interest to take a look at the fucking thing? You know? it's too much of a dollar sign apparently that you can't even take a look and appreciate it for a second. Like that's what blows my mind about vaping. It's like, how can you spend all this money? Apparently you care about it, but like you don't at the same time, or like you get gear like and sell it the next day without looking at it. Like, what was the point? Or I don't know. It's really like confusing sometimes the way people act with what they buy. You know, or they buy so much stuff that they're just overwhelmed. Or I guess when you have that much money and like none of it's like you didn't have to earn that. Like you just have so much money that you can just throw all that money out, like, oh, $500 on accessories or whatever, you know, and just like blowing all this money. So like when you have all that money to spend, like everything's just is going to feel less important because it came so easy. You didn't have to like work that whole week like striving for that one product, like breaking your back all week to say like, yeah, I'm going to save up enough just so I can get that one thing this weekend. Then it's going to feel that much more important to you. But if you just are loaded with money, easy come, easy go. You know, it's like that with everything in life. So of course it's going to be like that with your vape gear. Yeah, that's why I just see it all the time. Like I don't really know if they appreciate the gear they get and sell immediately, but just from what I'm seeing, I'm assuming they don't really like. I don't know. I really don't know. You know, it is kind of ignorant of me to assume that, but odds are, I would think that has some validity to it. So, I know not everybody wants to hear this. You know, I'm just trying to just be raw about it. Or at least speak my mind on it, you know. You know, I don't think, another assumption of mine, I don't think people that have that much money like that and do buy all these products and stuff, I'm guessing they don't, I would think they don't really watch my videos either, or any review videos for that matter, because review videos are not just for people that are passionate about the products. Like that is a thing, of course. There are going to be people that are high and well off that still watch YouTube reviewers, but I think most people that watch YouTube reviews probably are on the poorer side, not because they don't have jobs or they're lazy or whatever, more so because they're frugal and they're trying to make sure they do buy the best products. So they're trying to get everybody's opinion on it as they can so they can make their own assessment prior to forking up the money to buy the thing. That's what I think, you know, makes sense. Like, who would be watching YouTube reviews? Sure, people are just have general interest, like me. Like, I'll watch videos on stuff I don't actually plan on buying, but I'm not going to watch pod videos either. You know, it's just, it depends on the reviewer, and as long as it's a rebuildable, I'll pretty much watch the review, especially these days, because there's not that much coming out. So, I mean, years ago, I'd be a little more particular about what videos I'd watch, because there was actually an abundance of products and reviewers. Yeah. So, what else we got here? What else is going on up here? So, I pretty much hit all my bullet points. Mostly about the mods and stuff. Yeah, it's too bad about that damn VWM RTA. I mean, if I can get that Enigma, I won't even care, because I think I'm way more interested in that Enigma than that VWM RTA. Sorry. I mean, it just doesn't look that different. The Vaporware Mods RTA, God, it's probably going to be great. Like, if you don't have an Imperial or never had one, definitely get one. It's probably going to be... But I can't see it being that much different than that either. It doesn't really look any different. The airflow looks spot on like an Integra, I want to say that. I mean, the spacing, the size of the 3 holes, the spacing of them, looks like it's going to be the same vape. But I could be wrong. I mean, I'm always surprised with different gear how the most subtle changes can make it vape totally different. Like the Kirch and the Psych, for example. I got a much different quality of vape out of those, and they look pretty much the same, you know. Or this Nduro, I've enjoyed a lot more than I did the Squape Rise. They're very similar. It's just, you know, subtle, minor differences can go a long way with how much you enjoy a product. You know, just like the chimney is a millimeter different or something, and it's gonna make an impact. My BMM, oh my god. So yeah, obviously I didn't win last week for BMM, or else I would have told yous. But I was just thinking, remember I was talking up the Mule last week? I forgot all about the Mule, that the back of it is an exposed battery. I forgot all about that aspect of it, and that's why it's called a Mule, because it's... And exposed batteries are just ugly to me. I mean, there's a couple of them that pull it off okay, but in general, I would rather have a little battery cover. I mean, look at this. It's so simple. Why can't we just have this? The Mule with the battery cover should be optional. Look how simple it is. You couldn't just throw this on here. It makes it so much better just to have a battery cover. It's just way more streamlined to have a battery cover. I don't want an exposed battery. Because it's not... It's form over fun. Like, it's not light. It doesn't make it that much lighter that it's worth not having. Right? I'd much rather just have it. What the hell is this? Is that a promo for something? It's like a you know, a YouTube ad that just like turned itself into a video. Shit's getting out of hand. These ads, man, they're out of pocket. Hey, about the Philly accent thing, I don't know. Some guy from Philly got interviewed on the news for the I-95 bridge that collapsed, which was actually really close to my house, like where I used to live, where I'm from, the Cottman Ave exit. So, yeah, he went viral or whatever. He got famous, basically, just for having a very Philly accent. It's fucking weird, but I didn't think he had that much of a Philly accent. He just sounded like a stoner, honestly. And I feel like I've met so many people in Philly that do sound like him, though. But he had more like a stereotypical stoner voice than a Philly voice. A Philly, like, rough, like, almost New Yorker type accent is what I picture. Like, I've met plenty of people that had way more of a Philly accent. Here's a Phillyism. You say, most people would say, "Did you eat yet?" But in Philly, you say, "Jeet yet?" "Jeet yet?" "Did you eat yet?" "Jeet yet?" And then instead of saying, "No, did you?" you just say, "Nah, Jew." "Did you, Jew?" "Nah, Jew." "Jeet yet?" "Nah, Jew." You just cram all the words together, you know. And I'm sure a lot of you know about John. Any person, place, or thing is a John before rap even got involved. Because I'm sure it's in rap songs and stuff. But I don't listen. Have you ever heard of the Emancipation Proclamation? Oh, I don't listen to hip hop. The South Park, Bigger, Longer, Uncut, man, that shit. My childhood, dude. South Park. That came out in 1999, that movie. Anyhow, what am I doing? Oh, God, do I love this. I just wake this up again. Here's my titanium. Oh, you can't see nothing. It's a toxic mop, too, I assure you. And, my stash box. You can't see nothing. The shadows are real. But I have Enter Pumpkin Spuck in here. It's good. I need to re-wick this. My other mob. Titanium mob. I guess that's what I'll do now. So I know I alluded last week to the whole, the whole blow up situation, and I think this is the conclusion of it all. I said no beef. Well, I think in general, or on a personal level, at least, we've kind of squashed the beef. If whoever gets that will get that. If you don't, I'm glad you don't. But yeah, just on good, feel like general, civil, good terms, Some, made amends to a degree, I feel, I kind of reached out in private, and I feel like it was well received, and it just definitely feel very just kind of relieved and happy, and just like, I'm just glad, because I just didn't want to, I don't like to burn bridges, and I really got no hate, you know what I mean? It's just not my style to act like, to carry any negativity like that, it's just not what I wanted to see. So I'm really glad about that. And even went out to let some people know about, like I said the other week, man, people are robbing each other out here. It's getting real out here, man. You better hide your kids, hide your wife, because they robbing everybody up in here. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It's like, a friend of mine suggested, wow, I guess a lot of people are relapsing. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure there is validity to that, but I also think people are just desperate. They don't care anymore. Oh, well, I can't seem to sell anything, even if I price it really cheaply on the buy-sell trades. So fuck it. Fuck vaping, fuck all the community. I'm just going to burn everybody I can and go out in a ball of fire. I swear to God, people are acting like that. I really believe that. It's fucking sad. People are just that desperate now. It's like, dude, if you can't sell your... I don't know what to tell you. Keep everything, move on with your life. Don't take it out on everybody else that you can't sell your stuff and rip everybody off. Okay, vaping doesn't mean anything to you anymore, but you don't have to turn into a heel. You don't have to turn into a total asshole and start robbing people. That just means you were only upholding that standard, or you were only exhibiting good behavior because you were compelled to, because of you needed to retain a reputation so you can continue transactions. That's not the only reason to not burn people. Like, your reason to not burn people is because it's fucking wrong. And you would not want it to be done to you. You know, that's the core underlying reason not to be robbing everybody on the fucking community buy-sell trade groups. You know, just because you don't care about vaping anymore, it doesn't mean you have the right to do something like that. So, I don't know. You know, how many people are actually acting on what I just said? I don't know. Probably not that many. It probably is a lot of addiction things, but there's still never an excuse for it. There was this other guy who, like, out of the blue, like, I had only seen his name around here and there and recently, but, like, he admitted, although now it's kind of familiar to me. Guy, I don't want to say his name. Anyhow, he, like, admitted to everybody, like, hey, like, years ago, I was real into the groups and I burnt somebody, or maybe it was a couple people, and I bailed on everything and I left for a while, and so I relapsed, and then I got clean and been doing good for a while now, and now I got back into the groups and I've been buying a lot of stuff and doing good in my life, and out of the blue just admitted to everybody in a post saying, like, hey, I burned all these people, do you forgive me? And, like, I'm reaching out to these people to ask for forgiveness and pay them back and all that stuff, which is cool and all, but it's just, like, weird. I don't know. Like, I never would have expected that. I don't know. And I don't know how to anticipate. I don't know how to appreciate that. Because it's like, I don't know, you've done it before, you could do it again, or I don't know how to look at it. I guess it is noble, but it's just weird. You know what I mean? It's just a gray area. Like, I don't know how to react to that, or I don't know how to feel. Like, and, like, it had nothing to do with me personally, but I still don't know how to treat that scenario. Some people were very responsive and appreciative of it, and I don't know. Hey man, I was a IV user for years and pretty bad off, and I guess if I was like that years ago, I guess it would be such an easy target to just burn people on groups because you don't have to see them face to face, right? But I was never that guy anyway to, like, take my scandalous stuff to, like, individual levels. You know, I was more about, like, ripping off a store or something. Like, and even then I had standards. Like, I wouldn't even fuck with a mom and pop store. You know what I mean? Like, on different, you know, not to say I couldn't, I mean, anybody can get to that level of, you know, desperation, but I really would, that's my last resort, to want to just take it out on random people that mean well, or did treated me well in the past, and it is pretty despicable, you know. But, you know, goddamn, I'm definitely far from perfect, so. I wonder if you guys can hear me. I know I'm a little mumbly, but I don't want to be too loud. I just, you know, it's a sensitive topic, right? So. I like this. I got the Smiths on, but it's instrumental. Pretty cool. I mean, I like Morrissey, don't get me wrong, but I just like Johnny Marr's guitar so much. I think he's one of the best guitar players, honestly. If you've seen my my last couple top 10 videos for RTAs, the little guitar intros, yeah, that's me. That's me trying to play the Smiths sloppily. Honestly, I'm really out of practice with guitar. I kind of let it go a few years ago and haven't really dove back into it like that, unfortunately. I mean, I'd like to. I'd like to do it as a side gig and try to make a little money from it, honestly. But, you know, I'm antisocial and I talk to people through a computer screen a lot, so one of these days. It's just funny, I don't know, I just have not completely transitioned out of... Back when I was using, I was so confident and just did whatever I wanted, didn't think twice, no inhibitions. Now I'm just like, still, after all these years, just feel relatively uncomfortable in my own skin. And it's a shame, but I don't know if it'll ever go away. And COVID and the way our current society is with technology and social media, everybody on their phones, and it's not real social bonding, like, only makes it worse, you know? I miss them old days. You know, take me back to the tech of the early 2000s any day. I think the 90s were probably the last, like, golden age, especially for movies and music. Just very culturally rich back then. And it could be nostalgia talking, because in your childhood everything seems that much more elaborate and important, but I still think it just had, our culture just had so much more appeal back then. You know? Superhero movies and shit is a fucking drag. Goddamn globalism. Fucking ads. Look, it did it again. It did it again. It took an ad and turned it into a video. Since when are they allowed to do that? Can any of you tell me how to... I don't know. You're probably going to laugh at me for not doing this, but, like, I don't have ad blocker. I'm not all that tech savvy, honestly. I was very estranged from the world for a long time. And resisted technology every chance I could, so... Yeah, there's a lot of stuff I don't know how to do. I want to start using StreamYards. I think I can use StreamYard so that I could do lives with you guys, but without having my Wi-Fi conk in and out so I get the drop frames. Because otherwise I'd like to do it live, but I just don't want all that skipping, and people are going to lose interest with that, so... You know, and it's embarrassing to have a fucking skipping, you know, shitty Wi-Fi live. Like, you don't see any other reviewers with that crap. So it's like, why is my Wi-Fi that bad, you know? So, I'm going to look into StreamYards or OBS. That's a thing, right? Can I do this? Please explain to me this. Anybody that knows what the hell's going on. You know, what can I do to make it so that I can do lives, but YouTube and my Wi-Fi are able to mesh well and I don't get drop frames? Yeah, I love the Smiths. I used to watch a lot of skateboarding videos. PJ Ladd's Wonderful Horrible Life had a couple Smith songs in it. And then Really Sorry, Arthur Sorry's part, he had a Smith song. There's a few more.
Stop right there. Stop scrolling.
Another fucking ad. I'm on a playlist, so why can't it just play all the songs? I'm better off just picking real long songs or something. I already had this one on. So, yeah, I had to put a pause on a lot of stuff. I mean, so I still got to get another lens for this camera. Honestly, there's still a couple lens things that I want. But that thrill, there's a Geppetto that I had kind of like on hold. I've told you about before. I'm real behind with the vape gear stuff. I asked a friend of mine again if I could still borrow his Delaware D650 for review and stuff, and he said yeah. So maybe in a couple of weeks I'll have that to use. That'll be a breath of fresh air. Since I've had mostly just RTA content lately, and I know I've always been mostly a boro based channel, so that's probably what a lot of viewers are expecting and wanting. So I'm sorry if I'm letting a lot of you down. You know, I do like to be a little versatile with what I vape and all, but you know, I'm still into boro mods. I just haven't had any new stuff for it. You know, I seen this C-Bot last week, and it was beautiful. It was the newer style. It was black and white splats. Oh, it's just perfect. It was like $500 though. Man, it's not happening. It was like $4. I try to pull it off. I try to pull it together. It's not that it's not worth it. You know, it kind of is to me. It's just not feasible right now. You know, it's just bad timing. The next 6 months probably going to be bad timing for me. But I'm still, at the end of the day, I'm going to dive back in. Just want to have everything very established with my whole video drive here. Yeah, and the guy that sold the C-Bot, he's the one that got ripped off. He got ripped off recently by this guy named Jason. Forget his last name. Begins with a K. I think he's a subscriber, which is sad because I kind of like outed him because I don't. He ripped this one guy off, didn't pay him back, then proceeded to make other deals with other people while he still owed this other guy money for a mod that he was given basically for free because it was an IOU. Now, you shouldn't be giving mods out to strangers without being promptly paid first. That is kind of negligible and gullible and naive to some degree, but at the same time, in a perfect world, you should be able to do that. And he's not an asshole for doing that. He just is a good person. But nice guys always finish last, and he got screwed over. And now this guy is he got outed in a post. He was only removed from that initial group that the post was in. I found out about it through a third party, confronted the guy because I had already been in contact with him here and there, some PMs back and forth. We were on relatively good terms until I found out about this, confronted him, he denied it. I never seen the original post. So some time goes by. He's randomly, after I called him out saying, you got to pay this guy back. And he ignored it, denied it, whatever. Time goes by. The other day he says, hey, would you trade this and this with me? And I'm like, no. I said, why don't you post it? And he said, oh, no, I don't want to post it. I just wanted to ask you. Oh, okay. You won't post it because you can't, because you'll be called out. Found out a mutual friend, he tried to get him to trade with him too. So he's on the low, prowling, trying to dupe people and scam them on the low in PMs. I know it. So, I'm trying to make an effort. I told him straight up too. I'm like, listen, dude, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to tell a lot of people about my suspicions about you. I'd hate to assume the worst. I don't want to feel paranoid about it, but the signs are there that you're up to no good. And I'm not just going to sit by and let it happen when I know better, and I don't want to see, it brings the whole community down. It makes people not trust each other. I don't want to see people get ripped off to begin with. So, I made an effort to tell some people and try to tell other admins and moderators of other groups, like, listen, he's banned from this group, but he needs to be banned from every group because it's an outlet for him to find new victims. He shouldn't be able to see what's out there, what deals what people have. It's only makes everyone susceptible to more bullshit. So, anyhow, I know he was banned from at least one more group because of me reaching out to tell people. And I told the guy that got ripped off, too, like, it's good that you made the post, but I would make even more of an effort to make sure admins and moderators see that post. Tell them exactly what happened. Because this guy has a good reputation. So, for him to get ripped off, people are going to believe that he did get ripped off, obviously. So, I just hate to see bad shit happen to good people. And it's like, when I first got into the groups, I met this guy, Kevin. Sure, we chatted a lot, the PMs and stuff, but I didn't know him. We both hardly knew anybody. We're both still pretty new in the groups, and yet he lent me at least $1,000 worth of money. Not in products, not even in deals with him. Just lent me money by buying, giving other people gear for those people to send that gear to me. And I didn't know him at all. He lives across the country. That's a kind soul. You're not going to meet too many people like that. And it took me a couple of months, but I paid him back. And, couldn't help but thank him over and over. I sent him a little care package type thing, just as a little gesture, whatever. Nothing in comparison to what he did for me, but, and then time went on, and he ended up doing that again with somebody else, giving them the benefit of the doubt that they would make good on some certain deals and just lending and, all that shit. And it wasn't me. It was somebody else. And that somebody else didn't have the fucking integrity to, they just weren't trustworthy, and they didn't follow through and pay them back, and they ripped them off, And there were some other stories, too. I mean, the guy had just been taken advantage of a few times, and it's because, he's a good person. He wants to trust people the way that people can trust him. But apparently you can't be like that. It's sad. It's a sad world we live in. So if you're going to lend anybody anything or trust them with anything, make sure you can trust them, or you really feel like you can trust them. Even then, some people talk a good game and make it seem like you could trust them. So you never know what you're going to get with these people. But just use your better judgment. I would suggest, make people have to prove themselves a little bit before you, before you do something big like that. I'm telling you, over $1,000. I started getting a little like, all right, dude, I can't borrow no money from you. Like, he was even offering me more money. I don't know. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, listen, dude, I don't want to get, like, caught up, like, no more. It's just Some people are really kind like that. I mean, obviously you don't see it too often, but I don't know. The groups were so good to me, especially when I first got into the scene. I mean, I was very positive to people and very outgoing and all too, but I met a lot of good people in the groups. So many people would hold gear for me, you know, take my word for it that I would follow through and buy it, you know, hold stuff for me for a couple days, a week, 2 weeks, you know, no problem. You know, I appreciate all those gestures. So we're after the hour mark. I always think of things, because I tend to only do these on the weekend, and I always think of like all the stuff to talk about in the moment, like a lot of times during the week. And I never write any of it down and then I forget about it. So, you know, I'm sure there was more I could say, but it's weird. It sounds like Primus or something. It doesn't even sound like the Smiths. Very punk rock. Come on now, South Park, on you have myself a time. That's what it sounds like. Come down now, South Park, and y'all meet your friends, man. I wonder how old the average viewer of my channel is. I think you can look all that stuff up. I know you used to be able to. I remember years ago, like 2012, 13, they had a pretty thorough demographic type thing. Like, you had all these charts and stuff for your channel. Back when I was into, like, having a music channel and stuff. It's pretty cool. I'm sure you still can. I don't know. I don't never navigate the YouTube studio or whatever and to see all that stuff. Or maybe now there's just too many damn people to keep track of. Who knows? Can make a good man. So yeah, apparently, I don't know. I don't want to keep saying things are fucked up because then that'll be like a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to be optimistic. I don't want to say the fucking groups are ruined or whatever. I don't know. I seen a guy who's pretty well known in the groups. A European guy named Theo, who does a lot of DLC codings and stuff. He was making a comment about the decline of boro mods and stuff, and like his main reason was the fact that so much boro gear now is this cheap 3D printed exposed battery. Bleh, you know, it's worn out. Let it go. We've seen enough of that style, you know, and I can't help but think he's right. It makes it boring. It's just not that interesting to do that many variations of it. Now, if they were stabwood resin boro mods, then I'd say, sure, do 100 variations of that. But people want to get, you know, rich off little, so they're just hoping, you know, throwing shit to the wall and hoping something sticks, you know, hoping they'll get another overnight success KBR story. I can't blame the modders either, but at the same time, if you just ran with a creative, unique vision, that'll sell itself. You know, instead of trying to approach it like a a strategy, you know, strictly business strategy. Okay, what kind of mod can I make the cheapest and get the most on in return? And I don't know if people are really thinking like that, but I don't know. Again, sorry to seem negative, but I'm just trying to give that little bit of a realist spin to this whole thing. Because you won't see a lot of that in high end. You'll see a lot of tight lips and smooth it over. Everything's good, you know. Now I feel like things have freed up a little bit. Stakes aren't as high. People just don't give a fuck. And they'll talk shit and say whatever they want now. But at the same time, that's good. Because it makes the standards higher. You know? For way too long, people got away with selling trash because nobody wanted to hurt anyone's feelings or look like a bad guy or have a bad reputation. But now I think people are just no holds barred, just, you know, they got nothing to be ashamed of, they got nothing to lose. Say what you want, say how you really feel. And it's a good thing. You know, it's good to say how you really feel. In the long run, it'll do everybody better. If we just, you know, maintain high standards without trying to bury a mod, or, you know, I don't say that stuff in disrespect. I mean, guys, no matter how I feel about your mod, I still can appreciate how much work you put into it. It's beyond me, you know what I mean? But from within that, if you're gonna go through all that effort, you know what I mean? If you're able to do that, do it to the best. You know what I mean? Like, take it to that next level. If you're putting that much effort into it, you know, all or nothing. Hey. So it was quite. Would you believe what? I just want to. Oh, look, it's a karaoke. That's cool. And as I climb into an empty bed, oh, enough said. And that's right. Oh, well, enough said. I think I'm going to go. 7:30. It's getting dark. It's getting dark. Getting dark out. In the dark. In the night. No one will hear you. In the dark. In the night. When it's dark. Because it's night. Come on there, J3S. I said so many good things about you the other day. There you go. You know, I left out a few things, though. I wanted to mention that. The K-Fun Prime, I feel like I shoulda, coulda, woulda put this in there. Maybe instead of the light. I don't know. And I already said this. Oh wait, this is the MTL Dwarf. Well, I could have put the MTL Dwarf in there too, and the Direct Long. You know, you can't get them all. I just missed out. I really wanted to put the 415 in there. I have a separate video for the 415 RTA. That might be a top 5 MTL RTA, and I fucking blanked on it. It has the smoothest draw. Now, there's 2 of them. There's the regular one, and then there's the Ultima. Because 415 is a brand, and it's the model name of an RTA, so it's a little confusing. And it's an RBA too, and an RT and an RDA, I think. So 415, not the most creative naming conventions, but I like the regular 415 RTA a lot. I have the Unkwn one. It's fucking great. So, it's real tight though. But I tried to stay like real tight with the RTA listing instead of veering off to more RDL stuff because I did an RTL category. You know, I just wanted to differentiate to kind of show like there are some strictly DL or MTL stuff that I do like too. But overall, I'm a loose MTL user. 1.5. That's my MTL, you know. And for me, RDL is 1.8 to 2.5 or 3, you know. Depending on what RBA or whatever, 3 and up is DL to me. 3.5 and up is definitely DL to me. But, you know, I'd say that a lot of people are like that, feel that way too, but it still technically is going to be different for everybody. Some people, MTL is 0.8 or 0.9 or 1, and that's it. Or, like, the most open they like is 1.2. You know, that's... For me, that's literally the tightest I can be, is 1.2. And I won't enjoy it. Not when I could have 1.5, anyway. God, this is so good. God, I love this RTA. G3S. It's just better to me than the second one. I don't know. It's just so more, it's just a little simpler. It's just less bulk and moving parts, and I just liked it better. It's not as pretty by any means, but all right, I guess I'm gonna go. Got that Squape video to edit. I got a Mark Todd vlog to finish watching, and I'm gonna watch some old movies and stuff and chill. I haven't even eaten dinner yet, so we got some leftover chicken parmesan. I need some of that, and yeah. So again, happy Father's Day to all you fatties out there, and I myself am not. You know, still think I'm a young bull at heart, and yet I got some gray hair, so how's that working out for me? Alright, I'll see you. We almost made it an hour and a half. That's like feature film length. That's my dream in life, to make a feature film that's at least an hour and 20 to an hour and a half. That's my dream. Not to win an Oscar. Feature film, and it's coming. To a theater near you. Soon. Real soon. One of these years. Alright, gang. I'll see you.